So I'm on my way back this morning from some really productive meetings. The first one was at PBS, Channel 9 Broadcasting. They put together a town hall all about workforce development, talking about ways that we can improve workforce development. There's some really exciting things happening with partnerships between some of our educational institutions, our public schools, as well as our secondary and postgraduate programs that are really working to give people the skills that they need to fill the jobs that are out there. The problem, if you didn't know this already, is that it's not that there aren't enough jobs, it's there aren't enough skilled workers to fill all of the jobs that we have in the state. And employers are having a hard time getting workers that have the right skills. So the problem is that, and we're working out how to solve for that problem at the state level, but also, most importantly, in the private sector. There are a lot of people that have come together, and some of them this morning were there to talk about some of the challenges and issues that are going on. And frankly, I think it's a really good problem to have. The bigger challenge would be if you didn't have the jobs to begin with. That's a harder nut to crack. Finding the skilled workers and training up people to have the skills that are needed to do jobs, I think that's a much easier solve. And we do it by having education change their curriculum, right? So getting people in schools learning about some of the trades, learning about some of these skills, and the jobs that are available later in life, maybe without having to go and get a college education. I know that sounds terrible, and we have a real stigma right now about not going to college, but frankly, there are a lot of really high-paying, good quality jobs that don't require a college education, and for some people that actually may make a lot more sense. So that was the first meeting, really productive, a lot of good conversation that came out of it. I learned a lot about what some of the other organizations are doing out there. Second meeting that I had the opportunity to sit in on was with Governor Parson and NGA. Some of the top executives, the deputy director from NGA, were in town to brief us on what's going on with the new NGA development. It's a $1 billion investment into our community here in St. Louis. It's going to transform North St. Louis. I mean, this is exactly the kind of project that can really turn St. Louis around. And what's most exciting about that is that the geospatial industry, I mean, we are positioned in Missouri, and specifically in St. Louis, to be a world leader in geospatial technology. If you don't know what geospatial technology is, it's really anything to do with mapping. So your phone, when you're traveling somewhere and you pull up Google, that's all geospatial technology. And there's all kinds of businesses that are ancillary to what NGA is doing. And we're going to now have a cluster of skilled workers. Again, talking about workforce, we're going to have a cluster of skilled workers here in St. Louis with very specific skill sets that are going to be very appealing to a lot of these companies that are doing these big things and that are really, truly changing the face of technology and the world that we live in through what their companies and their organizations are accomplishing. So really exciting stuff. It was a great update. It's going to inject a lot of energy into our region here, and I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I had learned this morning and what we're up to. A lot of good development, a lot of good happening. And again, I see one of my roles as the chair of the Economic Development Committee and as a member of the House of Representatives is to cheerlead for our region and to really highlight and magnify some of the good that's happening. I just love all of the good that's going on here, and I look forward to updating you on future visits that I have. I think one of the next meetings I'm going to be doing is getting together with Bungie International and talking about what their plans are. They just announced their world headquarters is moving from New York to St. Louis, which is tremendous. And here's why it's tremendous. For decades, we have been complaining in St. Louis about losing Fortune 500 companies. Well, guess what, folks? We are getting a Fortune 500 company, Fortune 250 company, to move its world headquarters from New York to St. Louis. Big deal. And I am really excited to talk to some of their executives to find out what drove that decision, to find out how we can replicate what they're doing and encourage other companies to locate here, and also to retain the top talent that we have already in St. Louis. Big stuff going on, exciting stuff, and I can't wait to share it with you. I'll talk to you soon.